I still remember the afternoon I came home to find Patricia Belmont, our HOA president, crouched in my living room with a tote bag full of my belongings. She was muttering about color coordination while rifling through my bookshelf. She had no idea that 3 hidden cameras were recording her every move. I've always been a detail-oriented person. My grass in Maple Grove Estates stays at exactly 2.5 inches. My mailbox is the approved shade of forest green. But everything changed 18 months ago when Patricia was elected. She treated the neighborhood like her personal kingdom. She cited one neighbor because his doormat was too whimsical. She cited another for excessively cheerful garden gnomes. My first run-in with her was over my window blinds. They're creating an asymmetrical appearance from the street, she told me, clicking her heels like a drill sergeant. The slats in the living room are angled differently than the bedroom. It's disrupting the visual flow of the block. I thought she was joking. She wasn't. By June, things got weird. A wind chime my daughter made vanished. My flower pots were rearranged while I was at work. Small decorative stones were removed from my garden. Then, I found a note taped to my back window in Patricia's handwriting: "This frosted glass is not approved." My neighbor Robert confirmed my fears. "Your garden flamingo vanished? Someone picked my gate lock last month," he whispered. That's when I bought the cameras. High definition, motion activated, hidden in plain sight. One in a vase on the bookshelf, one in a smoke detector, and one under the eaves. For 2 weeks, there was nothing. Then came the afternoon of June 23rd. I was at a client meeting when my phone buzzed. I pulled up the live feed and my blood ran cold. There was Patricia Belmont, wearing dark sunglasses and a tight bun, using bolt cutters on my back gate. She crept to my kitchen window, produced a lockpicking tool, and climbed inside my house. I called 911 immediately. "Someone is breaking into my house. I can see them on camera. It's the HOA president." I watched the feed as I raced home. Patricia moved through my house with casual confidence, opening drawers like she owned them. She had a tote bag with Maple Grove HOA embroidered on the side. My daughter's wind chime? Into the bag. My couch cushions? Into the bag. Even a small succulent from the windowsill. The most surreal part? She sat at my dining table, used my pen, and wrote out violation notices for the items she was currently stealing. I arrived just as the police did. The officers looked skeptical, until I showed them the live feed. When the police knocked, Patricia froze. For a second, she looked like she might hide. Then, her arrogance took over. She straightened her blazer, grabbed her bag of loot, and opened the door like she was hosting a brunch. "Officers, I can explain," she said, her voice dripping with authority. "I'm the HOA president. I have every right to inspect properties for violations. Mr. Davidson is flagrantly disregarding community standards." Officer Chen's eyebrows shot up. "Ma'am, did you just admit to breaking into this residence?" "I didn't break in," she huffed. "I conducted a necessary inspection." They asked her to step outside. When they looked in her bag, they found my wind chime, my cushions, and my plant. "These are violations," she insisted. "I was removing them for the good of the neighborhood." Watching Patricia Belmont being handcuffed in my front yard while the neighbors watched from their windows was oddly satisfying. The story spread like wildfire. Once the news picked it up, the floodgates opened. It turned out she'd entered dozens of homes. She'd rearranged toolboxes in one garage because they weren't symmetrical. She'd stolen ceramic cats from an elderly woman. The emergency HOA meeting was standing room only. The real shock came when the financial records were checked. Patricia had been using HOA funds to buy bolt cutters, lock-picking tools, and surveillance equipment for her inspections. According to neighborhood statistics, before Patricia took office, we had 0 trespassing complaints. During her 18-month reign, property disputes rose by 400%. In a study of HOA overreach, it's estimated that roughly 15% of boards experience some form of tyrannical leadership, but Patricia was in a category all her own. By September, Patricia's world had imploded. Her real estate license was suspended. Her brokerage fired her. She took a plea deal to avoid decades in prison for 15 counts of burglary. 18 months in minimum security prison. $30,000 in restitution. 300 hours of community service. The judge's words were like a hammer: "You violated the most fundamental trust in a community. Neighbors should feel safe in their homes, not wonder if their HOA president is breaking in while they're at work." As the bailiff led her away, she started to sob. Her carefully styled hair fell loose. The woman who had terrorized us over blind angles and doormats was finally facing a reality she couldn't control. Maple Grove Estates is quiet again. The wind chime is back on my porch. My blinds are still at different angles. And every time I look at them, I smile, knowing that in this neighborhood, the visual flow is exactly the way it's supposed to be.